Chapter 21. I found out very late that first night when the Yerk was so confident. Rachel was keeping guard, Tobias was watching nearby in a tree. They had brought food, some sandwiches and juice, which I had eaten. Then as Rachel sat nearby, reading a book by a light of flashlight, the Yerk pretended to sleep. I guess in a way I did sleep. I was mentally exhausted, weary and depressed, more tired I'd ever been in my life, but I was afraid if I did dream, the Yerk would watch my dreams. And my fear was justified because I did dream, the same dream I'd had before. I was a tiger. Tom was my prey. We were in the dark, deep woods and I was hunting him in my tiger's skill. He was stumbling and noisy and weak. I knew I would take him. Until at last, too tired to run, he fell. He waited helpless until I gathered the power of my body and prepared to leap. And then I was no longer a tiger. I was my own prey. I watched her eyes wide with terror as the tiger sprang. I woke up. My eyes were already open. Interesting dream, the Yerk said. Very metaphorical. I looked up for the eyes the Yerk had opened. Rachel was still sitting back against the wall. Her book was open on her lap, but her breathing was heavy and regular. Her eyes were closed. She'd fallen asleep. Her flashlight was still on. It shone through the rough wood floor, illuminating my right arm and leg. My arm and leg had changed. My arms were thicker, more powerful, growing larger still. My hands had become swollen and huge. The fingers are disappearing, replaced by curved claws sharp as stilettos. Orange and black striped fur appeared in rippling waves that grew to cover me. I was becoming a tiger. The realization hit me like a jolt of electricity. I was morphing. The Yerk was morphing. How could I be so stupid? Of course he controlled my hands and feet, my voice. He controlled my mind. Of course he had that power too. The others, they didn't realize, they didn't understand, they tied me up, but it was useless. The Yerk had access to every one of my morphs. The rope in my hands was painfully tight as my wrists swelled to become powerful foreclaws. He raised the rope and used my tiger's teeth to tear the rope apart. I tried to warn Rachel. She was still asleep. I tried to warn her. The Yerk would escape. He might even kill her. But try as I could not reach my own body any longer. I couldn't reach my own body. I won't kill her, the Yerk said. Like you, she is capable of morphing. I will deliver visit-free and 4 morph-capable humans and 1 Andalite scum. Now I saw the world through tiger eyes. The night was brighter. I heard with tiger's ears that caught any sound that might be made by a predator. The tiger sniffed the air, but the breeze was slight and carried no warnings. What a wonderful animal this is, this tiger. Excellent senses, fast and deadly. And silence. The forest was dark and quiet, but the rustling of leaves in the trees above. The absolute silence, the tiger crept away. No sounds had melted in the shadows, and Rachel still slept. Soon the shack could no longer be seen. The beam of her flashlight was swallowed by black night. But the Yerk was uncertain now. He didn't know where we were and didn't know which way to go. And then a sound, a smell. Humans. What are humans doing here? You have my memory, searched my brain for an explanation, but I had none. Your own thoughts tell me this is wrong. It is late. Humans is deep in the forest. Even away from the human scent, they might be hunters, or park rangers, or possibilities he pulled my own brain. He sent the tiger body into a loping run, but after 10 minutes the tiger tired, and he had slowed down. Tigers aren't exactly distance runners. Which way, he wondered. And then, once again, that human scent, human sounds. I looked for a tiger's eyes and saw nothing. He wants to return for a human scent. He searched my memory. South. I must go south. But which way is that? Any roads will send me deeper in the forest. I guess you're lost, I said. The first thing I said in a while. Shut up, slave. Once the sun rises, I'll know which way to go. 2 hours in a morph. I'm stuck in a tiger. This body is useless to you. Visit-free wanted my body morph capable. Don't tell me what Visit-free wants, the Yerk said. But he knew time was passing. He had morphed back to my normal shape. Once later, saw the world for human senses. The night vision was less acute. The ears heard too little. The nose could scarcely smell a thing. He walked, pushing fast as my human body could move with no shoes. In a hurry to go nowhere. I know where I'm going, he snapped. Then he stopped. Ah, I should have thought of it, of course. The falcon. I would simply fly away. I watched it like a TV program, like I was far with my body. I watched the body shrink and the wings spread as talons appeared, and wham! The half-bird, half-human body went rolling end over end. What? What hit me? He looked at him frankly with falcon eyes for daytime hunting. They were good in sunlight. In the dark, though, they weren't anything special. The year continued to morph, falcon feathers grew, the flings became more fully formed, but wham! A shadow within shadows, a sense something dark had disappeared before the year could turn the falcon's head. From far away I realized it had been injured. There was a deep bloody gash in the right shoulder. The Yerk was beginning to be afraid. Wham! Another hammer blow, ripping of flesh and tendon. The invisible enemy had struck again. The falcon would not be able to take wing, not now. It was crippled, disabled by a silent, invisible enemy. And I felt hope come alive in me again, because even as the Yerk crying in pain, the Morton returned to human form, I saw the enemy. It lay on a branch, outlining its faint moonlight and infrequent stars. 2 little tufts on its head inspired a name. The Great Horned Owl, I said to the Yerk. I can read your thought. You don't have to tell me what it is. Oh, but I enjoy telling you. It's a great horned owl. It flies out making a sound. Tobias watches them hunt sometimes. He says he can hear a mouse burp from 100 yards away. He says he can see a bug blink on a cold black night. I laugh silently on the corner of my own brain. I laughed at him. As far as your owl is concerned, you may as well have a spotlight on you. Then to my amazement, Cassie's thoughts speak in my head. A voice is voicing you belong to a different life. Sorry I had to hurt you, Jake, but it's necessary. Realized you tried morphing, so we were ready. Rachel only pretended to sleep. He wanted to shirk yours to make an escape when we were ready for him. So you hang in, Jake. The forest is full of your friends. The humans a tiger had smelled. My friends. Then I felt it again. The sensation filled me sort of grim pleasure. I felt the Yeerk's fear. And it was good to know he was afraid. It was very good. Chapter 22. I could feel the Yeerk open my memory like a book. He was checking for a list of all the morphs I had ever done. Dog, fish, flea, seagull, dolphin, ant, wolf. I know what he must be thinking. Which could he evade the watchful owl with and above us? The owl who could stop for the night like day and heard the sounds no human could. She can't stay in morph forever. She has a 2-hour limit, just as I do. But then there's Rachel and Marco and Axe. You don't know how many of them are here. You don't know where they are or what they're doing. Can an owl watch a flea? I doubt it. Or an ant? The Yeerk smirked. True, but how far can a flea travel in 2 hours? On 20 yards? 30? They have to demorph my friends on no trouble finding you. Shut up, he yelled, losing patience. I reveled in his anger. I meant he was scared. It meant something else. I couldn't control my arms or legs. I couldn't even keep my mind closed, but he couldn't stop my thoughts. He couldn't stop me from talking to him, and I had the power to annoy him, to distract him as if we should be focused on escaping. You think you can harass me, he said, reading my thoughts as I had them. You overestimate yourself. And you underestimate us, Yeerk. You thought you'd just morph and walk away, but you guessed wrong, and your 3 days is 2.5 already. Tick-tock, Yeerk. Tick-tock. Let's see whether your owl friend can handle a wolf as easily as she handled a falcon. He began morphing. The wolf form was the one I enjoyed. Wolves are not subject to much fear, and their instincts are easily manipulated, not like ants. Or the lizard was one of my earliest morphs. I watched my body spread gray fur, face bulge out a long snout, my ears slid up the side of my head to rest on top. I see our owl friend is keeping her distance, the Yeerk said. I thought as much. He set off on a fast trot. Unlike tigers, wolves are long-distance travelers. They cover amazing distances in a run, and worse seemed to have some interior sense of direction. He knew which way was deeper in the woods and which way led to the city. We ran through the woods through a night as dark as night can be. Clouds hung low, allowing only the palest glow from the moon. A quick jog to what passed for civilization this planet. Demorph, and your friends would be powerless to stop me. I wonder who was trying to convince, me or himself. You're an arrogant bunch, aren't you? You Yeerks, I mean. Arrogant? Why wouldn't we be? We're the most powerful race in the galaxy. Overlords of the Taxons. Conquerors of Heartbajur and the Stresso and the Mac. And soon to be conquerors of the humans. Don't count the humans out just yet, and there's still the Andalites. We'll save the Andalites for last, he hissed. He stopped moving and pricked up his wolf ears. There came a howling sound, loud and not very far away. It rose and warbled and rose before dying away. A second wolf voice. Another wolf. 2. I felt him contact the wolf's own submerged instinctive mind. What was the meaning of this howling? A notice, a warning to other wolves that we were there. Don't come around unless you want to risk a fight. I realized what it meant and I laughed. This is the area we were in before. As wolves, we discovered silence. I know what you found. When we figure out I can read your memory as well as you can. We found another pack of wolves. They think this is their territory, I went on, enjoying the fact I was bothering him. Those howls, those are my friends. They're calling the other wolf pack. You better run faster. That big male who runs the air pack is pretty tough. The Yeerk began running, pushing the wolf body for all the speed and endurance it had. The dark tree trunks were blurred as he ran for the night, followed by howls of wolves who were not wolves. Then a smell in the wind of another wolf, a male wolf. I think that's my old friend now, I said, laughing. He stopped running, and ahead for the trees appeared glittering yellow eyes glared. Other eyes appeared. 5 wolves, real ones, waited for us to try and move forward. Go ahead, I taunted Yeerk. Go kick his butt. Of course, that's a real wolf there. Leader of his pack, which means he's probably been a dozen fights and won them all. So go on, Yeerk. Tell him how the Yeerks are master of a galaxy. I'm sure he'll be very impressed. I could sense his hesitation and uncertainty. So many species on this planet. So many balances and connections. Everything preying on everything else. Every power checked by another. Every advantage cancelled by some disadvantage. Yeah, Earth, it's a pretty tough neighborhood. When we take this planet, we'll eliminate these species. We will simplify. Things should be simpler. Much simpler. I have a news flash for you, Yeerk. I don't think you're going to take the planet. I think this planet's going to take you. Just then a human voice. So, you done playing games? Ready to come back to the shack? It was Marco. He was shoeless and wearing his morphing outfit. He'd been one of the wolves who led us straight to the enemy pack. Marco shivered. Look, Mr. Yeerk, it's cold. I'm freezing. I already knew the situation of morphing outfit was going to be trouble someday, so come on, let's go back. For a moment, he's so enraged he's ready to leap at Marco and tear out his throat. But then lumber behind Marco came Rachel, the very large Rachel with a trunk, heavy leather ears, and 2 huge tusks. Marco seemed to guess what had gone through his mind. Go ahead, try something. Wolf pack ahead, large African elephant behind you, and more surprises all around you. Oh, and one thing, Cassie's nestled in your fur. Sucking your blood, I imagine. She did the flea thing. I realized then there was a very basic difference between Yeerks and humans. A human will try and fight even when he can't win. Maybe our species is just a little nuts, but human history is full of cases where a handful of guys that fight an entire army. They get stomped, but they'd fight anyway. But that's not how it is for Yeerks. They're ruthless. They'll do anything to win, but when a situation's impossible, totally impossible, they stop fighting. They figure other Yeerks will carry on for them. Different ways of looking at the world. You're fools, the Yeerk said. I remember my thoughts. It's madness to fight when you can't win. Yeah, it is. It's crazy. And that's why we will win. The Yeerk demorphed to return to human form. My human form. Marco walked away into the woods and Rachel lumbered off. In a few minutes, an owl appeared to lead the way back to the shack. The next morning, when someone was watching, Yeerk tried again. He went to an ant. He got 3 feet for running to a group of ants from a different colony. About 40 of them attacked. They were ripping an ant by apart and he demorphed to return to human form. This is a savage plant. We will tame this world when we take over. But I didn't think he believed it anymore. After about 9 in the morning on Saturday, the Yeerks first took over my body and brain. By Monday evening, when the sun went down, he was growing distracted, unable to concentrate. By the time the moon rose in a newly clear, starry sky, he was weak with hunger. His slug-by crab for the drone raised the way a human crab for food and water. I felt his arrogance evaporate. I could feel his despair. He still had fantasies of being rescued, but he couldn't make them end well. Even if he was rescued, he'd no longer be the big hero who stopped the Animorphs. He would try and think of clever ways to outwit my friends, but he could never be sure who was in the woods around us or what form they took. He tried to take on a bird shape again, reforming the Perigene falcon. The DNA had not been affected by the injuries earlier, of course. The falcon was fine, but it was daylight this time, and Tobias landed while the falcon was still half-morphed. He grabbed the falcon head in his talon and simply explained that if he didn't demorph, he would die. For the first time, the Yeerk broke his silence to the earth and spoke as a Yeerk. If you kill me, you kill your friend as well. Yes, Tobias said. I know. You won't do it. Right from the start, we all said the same thing. Better die and be a controller, but in my case, I don't need to kill you. I can just put your eyes out. A blind falcon doesn't fly far. Damn. The Yeerk surrendered and demorphed. We waited as minutes and hours and night ticked by. He still hoped for a miracle to save him, but his hunger was a terrible thing, growing every second. You think you'll win. You won't win. Your people are blind to what's happening and Andalites will not return in time. Maybe, but you won't be able to see it, I said. It must be 4 in the morning. 5 hours left. Tick-tock. You're a cruel little human, aren't you? I don't think so, no. You know I'm dying and you laugh at me. What do you expect, pity? He laughed. No, we don't offer pity, and we don't expect pity. We are the masters of the galaxy, conquerors of the Harpager, and yeah, I know, the mighty Yeerk Empire. After that, he said nothing for a while. It was impossible to sleep. He sat with my eyes open. He was too hungry to rest. The hunger infiltrated his mind and twisted his thoughts. The Yeerk homeworld is a simpler place in this planet. Simple and elegant. No more than 100 animal species. What do you have on Earth? 1 million? More? What does a plant need with 1 million species? I didn't answer. His time was running out. Let him talk. We Yeerks evolved as parasites, not predators. Unlike you humans, we did not kill to eat. We were peaceful. We took many different species as our host, and as they evolved, so did we. Over time, the Geds evolved. They're sort of like a monkey, I suppose. We were in the Geds till the Andalites came. Some people still had nothing better than them. Still have nothing better than Geds for host. What about the Andalites? I asked. What happened to came to your world? Oh, of course. The Andalite hasn't told you, has he? What a pity. It's such a fine story. Ask your pet Andalite Axe sometime. Ask him about the story of the Andalites and the Yeerks. Maybe I will. Hoped he'd keep talking, but he fell silent. The hours passed. An owl left and was replaced by another. The moon went down. Dawn was coming, and I could feel it. Yes. These are my thoughts. Dawn. Just a few hours left. He cried in silent pain. The fugue. It begins. The fugue? The final hours. You will not enjoy it, though you may learn a great deal, human. You may learn more than you want to. Ah! I was watching his pain from far away. I was an observer, close to know what he was feeling, but feeling none of it. At first it was wave after wave of pain, starvation and death by thirst, all rolled into one agony. The sun came up. Cassie stepped into the shack from the woods outside, showed to me and nodded. It's happening, isn't it? I wanted to answer, but even now my voice is not my own. She came and sat down beside me, beside us. Axa, this part's pretty rough. Just remember when it's all over, I'll be here. She slipped her hand in mine. I could feel it, and so could the Yeerk, but he didn't reject this small comfort, even though it was intended for me and not him. His mind was deteriorating. His thoughts became more visible, like a movie kept drifting in and out of focus. I saw images from a strange place through strange eyes. Liquid all around, shapes like squid shooting through the liquid. Yeerks swimming in a Yeerk pool setting up drone arrays. There were images of the first host, a Geds or so I thought, that's what they looked like. I'd seen a few aboard the Yeerk mothership but not know what they were. They were humanoid, short and stooped, with webbed feet and 3 clumsy fingers. I saw the world as the Yeerk experienced it through Ged eyes. The vision was dim, but the hearing was better. The Yeerk had decided getting his first host. He subdued the Ged mind with ruthless ease, crushing with superior intelligence and will. It made me sick, the Ged's bewilderment and fear, the Yeerk's fierce arrogance. I turned my attention away from the mirror and back to the world around me. Surprised I noticed my arms were shaking. My legs were shaking. Cassie pulled her arm around my shoulders. Jake, if you can hear me, it's almost 8. 1 hour to go. Jake, the Yeerk in your head is dying. Yes, I wanted to say. He is. Chapter 24. The Fugue. The final hours of the Yeerk's life. I was watching him die. A lot happened since I first saw the Andalite Prince land at a construction site. More strange things most people see in their entire lives, but the strangest was this. And the saddest. He cried in pain again and again, and the visions came floating up crystal clear as if they just happened. Visions of the good times in his life, and of bad times. The emotions were strange, alien, I guess that's the word. There is no memory of love. I guess they don't do love, but there was affection, pride, fear, regrets. Those I could understand. Along with the Yeerk's own memories, I began to see minds of his hosts. The Ged who had no name a human could pronounce. A Heartbreaker warrior fought the Yeerk in his head every day of his life. The Heartbreaker was forced to attack his own kind, destroy his friends, an unwilling slave. But it was more than just memories. It was more. He carried with him some small part of the Heartbreaker warrior's being. Like a computer transferring a document to a floppy disk, I realized. Part of the Ged and part of the Heartbreaker had been transferred permanently to the Yeerk. And to my shock, I knew those parts were being transferred to me. And then, the memories I feared most. Tom. He joined the sharing for a simple, silly reason. A pretty girl he liked was a member. He wanted to get close. He'd gone to meetings. He played along, never guessing the truth. All he cared about was the girl. But he had stumbled into a secret leadership meeting by accident. He thought the girl was seeing another boy, but she was one of them. He had followed her, wanted to a meeting and seen visitor free, in his Andalite body. I saw the controllers grab by yelling, punching, kicking Tom. I saw as they tied him up, carrying him through secret passageways of the great underground Yeerk pool. I saw him scream as he realized what was happening. I felt his fear and rage as the Yeerk slug crawled in his ear and wrapped around his brain. I felt every bit of his despair. And like the Ged Harbinger, this human, my brother, became part of me. The Yeerk was no longer in pain. It was beyond pain. I opened my eyes and looked at Cassie. It happened so naturally. I opened my eyes by my own will. I don't know how she knew, but I guess she did. She nodded and met my gaze. First time in more than an hour, the Yeerk spoke. So, you win, human. The Yeerk shuddered, and I could feel it. A physical spasm. My vision changed. I felt... It was hard to describe. I felt as if I was seeing through things, into things. I could see the front and back and top and bottom and inside all at once. And then I saw it. A creature. Or a machine. Some combination of both. It had no arms. It sat still as if unable to move on a throne that was miles high. Its head was a single eye. The eye turned slowly left and right. I trembled and prayed it would not look my way. But then it saw me. The eye, the blood-red eye, looked straight at me. It saw me. It saw me. No, I cried in silent terror. I tried to look away. And with my eyes again, all I saw was a weird glow. It faded little by little. I was trembling. It's over, Jake, Cassie said. I rose slowly to my feet. I moved my own legs. I was in control of myself again. I looked down at the wooden floor of the shack. A gray slug not centuries long lay there, still. And as I watched, it withered and shriveled, and became nothing. Chapter 25. Jake, are you alright, sweetheart? My mom asked me that night at dinner. I looked up. I've been staring at my food. I realized something with pasta and tuna fish. What? Mom and Dad changed one of their worried parent looks. Well, you're not eating. Don't you like it? I shrugged. Sorry, it's fine. Just distracted. My dad nodded. It's a change from our last 2 nights. You've been eating like you were trying to eat everything in the house. I was? Tom cocked an eyebrow. You mean you're going to pretend it didn't happen now? Last night you sat there and ate 6 pieces of chicken and kept yapping how awesome it was. Then you ate a pie. A pie that was supposed to be for the 4 of us. I hid a smile. Of course. Axe, Andalite played me for 3 days, 2 hours at a time. He was dangerous around food. The sense of taste totally amazing to him. When he was a human morph, he didn't want to get between him and a bar of chocolate. Or a pie, I guessed. You're a total pig. Chicken, corn, potatoes. Kept saying, potatoes, toes, tatoes. I thought you'd gone nuts. And were you suspicious, Yerk? I thought, looking at my brother. A new Yerk was in his head, another arrogant master of the galaxy. My brother, trapped in a small corner of his own mind, able to see and feel what powerless to do anything, I knew. I didn't sleep much at night. I didn't want dreams to come. I feared terrible nightmares of the Eye that stared at me from a different universe. But the only dream was a familiar one. I was the tiger. My brother was the prey, but in the end, I was my brother, and he was me. News on our small portal closing a new hospital. No explanation, but we knew what happened. The Yerks knew our plan was blown. They understood that we knew about it, and we hurt them pretty badly. But I knew better than to celebrate. Visitors were more determined than ever to stop us. So the next day, I did something stupid. At least Margaret would tell me it was, but he didn't object. He understood. We all met at Cassie's barn. I used her dad's cellular phone to call him Tom at home. Cellular phone, they called it that back then. I went partly to Wolfmore before I did, just not to make the smallest changes, enough to change the shape of my mouth and tongue and throat, so my voice would sound very different. He picked up on a third ring. Yeah? I have a message. I said in a thick, twisted voice that didn't sound like me at all. What? Don't give up, Tom. Don't ever give up. I hung up before he could say anything. Do you think Tom, the real Tom, heard that? Rachel asked. He heard, I answered. I wonder if he had the strength to hold on. But I knew the answer. See, a part of my brother was in my own mind now, along the echoes of a long-dead harbinger and a simple Ged, and even a bit of a Yerk with dreams of glory. Marco smiled a sardonic smile. And is it true? Will he win? It's a complicated plan, Marco. That's what I hear anyway. And it's a very strange universe. Anything could happen. And that is that. That's the end of Animorphs number 6. Whew. This one was a doozy, I'm sure you'll agree.